Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to the public. If the public are watching this, could we have apologies for absence, please?
Okay, so we've got Councillor Adam Lloyd, Councillor Frank Sharp and Councillor Denise Mullin are the apologies received.
Thank you, Siobhan. Any declarations of interest?
No.
No? Okay. Public participation, obviously that's through Zoom meeting. And can the committee confirm the minutes of the Community Services Committee on the 19th of August 2020, which are pages 1 to 4 on the agenda? Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Right, I think I'm handing over to Phil now for the Community Services Work Programme.
Right, as we know, Chair, the programme of events that we had for this year was decimated by COVID.
Yeah.
So we had to talk through that last time. Fortunately, things haven't really improved in the interim, but we do need to sort of consider what we'd like to do in the run-up to Christmas. Between now and the end of December, we would be expecting to have a series of functions again, but they've been scaled back. I can confirm that the owners of the car park and the shopping centre are not going to put a Christmas tree up this year. I had that confirmed at the beginning of the week. So London and Cambridge won't be putting up a Christmas tree due to the fact that the work is ongoing. It's too much disruption for the sitting tenants, and they're going to consider what their future options are in terms of siting a tree either in the centre of the car park or maybe going across the road by the Halifax. But there will not be a Christmas tree in the square this year, unfortunately. We need to think about what we're going to do in terms of trying to find a replacement for the pensioners' lunch, because we're not going to be able to do that. I don't think anyone really expects that we'll be able to have a mass gathering of people between now and the end of the Christmas period. The suggestion I've made in the paper is that we expand the hamper scheme. The hampers cost us just over £500 last year to deliver to about 55 people. I'd like to propose that we go to try and double that.
Yeah.
And that will cost us around about £1,000.
Could I suggest that, given, you know, obviously we've got a budget here, right, that the town council also look at vulnerable families heading towards Christmas as well as the pensioners?
Yeah, I'm willing to take on board anybody that the councillors think are in need, but what we'll need help with is to identify those people. Now, I'll reach out to the community groups and see what we can do there. We have the existing group of around about 50 people that we already deliver to, and Siobhan and I were talking about contacting them during the course of next week to see if they're still in a position where they want a hamper. But yeah, we are going to have to identify other people. So if anyone can come up with ways of doing that and helping us identify people, that would be really useful.
Well, I can suggest through the schools, because I know the schools are involved, and the family centre. We've got Muggle Family Centre there, Family and Wellbeing Centre, which deal with all the vulnerable families within this community. So maybe they could help us out. And I don't know if we have to do this, or maybe make a donation to the bank heading towards Christmas as well from the town council.
Yeah. Angela suggested contacting the Hudson's Children's Centre.
Yeah, I can speak to the manager there. I can speak to Kelly Heron there.
That would be really useful. I mean, I went to the food bank this week. We've been, as you know, providing support for them through the award funding that Councillor McKinley managed to get. They have confirmed that they would like extra support for Christmas, and what they want to target is they would like selection boxes for kids and children's pyjamas.
Okay.
We'd have to allocate some money to that because the award funding is not too far from running out now.
Right. Okay.
We did our best. We've stretched it since the sort of beginning of lockdown, but I think we've got probably less than £100 left.
Okay, Councillor Hughes.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we still had access to the database of the all the vulnerable people during the first lockdown, and I was just wondering if we could try and utilise that with the Christmas hamper scheme?
Yeah, we've got our own list, which we'll certainly use, but I think we'd want to look further afield, because I think we probably have around about 70 or 80 people on that. So
Right.
there's certainly room to expand on that a little bit and see if we can get reach out to more people who are in need. The recent experience of the food bank is it went quiet in August, September, or quiet there. When I went in yesterday, they were absolutely rushed off the feet, and they said it's just getting busier and busier, and with the extra lockdown coming in, that's only going to get worse.
Can I ask Phil, which food bank is this? Is this the Trestle Trust or the private one with the...
This is the official McGull Food Bank located in the Methodist Church, which is affiliated to the Trussell Trust.
Right, okay. That's every Tuesday, isn't it?
That's every Tuesday, yeah. They're going to open up another wing of it, so to speak, in the Methodist, the other Methodist Church, but that's going to be private, and that's going to be focusing on donations for Christmas. So they are looking to expand their operations, but they need what support we can give them.
Can I offer my services to volunteer? Because obviously with me being made redundant now, I've got a bit of time on my hands, so I wouldn't mind helping out there if you could.
I'll pass that on to them, Claire. That's really generous of you. Thanks.
If anybody else wants to dive in, please feel free. Any more questions? Councillor Ferguson?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'll help out where I can, yeah.
Okay. I think what we'll need, Ross, is to get hold of the people that we were talking to at the beginning of lockdown, check that they're okay, and if we can incorporate them into our list, then we will do.
Yeah. I've still been calling our lot, like, you know, the people that I called, so
yeah.
No problem at all.
We have confirmed that we can use the venue for packing the hampers. There was a bit of question over that because we didn't know whether the public inquiry was going to go on and the building would have been full of people, so we wouldn't be able to use it. But Angela's confirmed that we can do that. So we would be looking to try and get the hampers out round about that time, which was the 15th to the 18th of December. So we'll get the order probably through the Champion at Morrison's because we get the discount there. And then we might need a bit of help to actually pack the hampers, but we'll keep you informed on that.
Yeah.
So if anyone can help,
I'll help, yeah. Phil, I know we get food from Morrison's as well, but given that we're supposed to be allegedly getting a new supermarket in McGull, because we're not making roads with them to see if they could give us something.
Yeah, well, in terms of getting things like pyjamas and whatever, Morrison's aren't great at that, so we are going to reach out. So I'll certainly get hold of the likes of Aldi, Lidl and Asda and see what they can do to help us out.
Okay, well, let me know, because as I say, I'm free, so I can quite happily go and walk up and speak to someone if that needs be.
Thanks, Claire.
Any other questions from members? Councillor Ferguson?
Yeah, I was just going to say Home Bargains might be well to approach because they're always willing to do stuff, and they sell pyjamas and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I put another thing on that paper, which was a competition for kids to do a picture for Christmas, because the kids are going stir crazy, as we all know at the moment. And I think that would fill the gap to some point. What was intending is that we might break it into age groups, ask them to put pictures in, but every entrant would get a selection box. But we wouldn't promote that. We'll just do that because I'm not expecting we're going to get more than 100 entrants. If we suddenly get overwhelmed, I'll take that one on the chin. But if we can get a bulk order of selection boxes from the Christmas budget, is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, smashing.
Could I suggest as well, you know, where we had the rainbow hunts going round? Because obviously I found myself with the kids, a lot of the kids are worried that Santa's not going to come because of COVID, and, you know, it's Santa's not going to have all the presents. Could we maybe get the kids to put something in the windows to try maybe like a little, as they're walking around, if you're saying the board, put the Christmas pictures in the window?
Yeah, they can do.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask them to do is try and post the pictures by email or post them into the town hall. The only problem we've got with things in windows is getting around to see them.
No, I just meant not for a competition, just for like type thing, just a suggestion on the website.
Yeah, we can do that. We can make that all part and parcel of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any more questions on this report? No? Okay. No, is that a no? All right, can we move on to the Community Services Budget 21-22?
The budget, as with all the budgets, has been again adversely affected. Due to the closed down. As things stand, the proposed budget for next year for our activities is £2,500 for neighbourhood activities, £2,917 for events, £2,550 for Christmas activities, £4,000 for youth provision, and grants stacking up to £4,500. That does not include the £2,000 that goes to McGull and Bloom, which we made a separate arrangement for at the beginning of this financial year. It doesn't give us much to play with, and we would be hoping to come out of COVID and do some hopefully spectacular events and try and get people, lifted up. We have got provision for things like the fair to come and the circus to come, which obviously pays us money, all subject to restrictions being lifted. But if we wanted to do some significant events, Angela suggested that we may want to consider, when you come to your budget meeting and the council, is to add something onto the precept with a specific purpose of having a celebration of coming back from COVID. The other thing I'd like to do, and I think a couple of you already mentioned it to me during the last few months, is when we do our awards night, hopefully we'll be able to do an awards night, that we make that all whistles and bells and really reach out to the community and find out who's been doing what during lockdown and COVID, and really celebrate those people. But obviously, if we make the event bigger and better, it's going to cost a bit more. So yeah. I'd just like your thoughts on that, please.
Yeah.
Well, go on, Ross, you go.
I was just going to say, I think that's a fantastic sort of thing. And I mean, the nominations are different this year. Last year.
Sorry, Ross.
I think what we need to do is we need to make sure that we touch base with as many different parts of the community as possible, and really push it when we get a chance to do it. Now, who knows, it might be February, I doubt it. It's more likely to be spring. So when we get round to doing it, we need to do a big promotional run up to it and get as many parts of the community to put nominations forward as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I agree too. Obviously it's going to cost more, but I think it's a worthwhile thing to do, because there are a lot of people around in the community who are doing stealing work at the moment. So, it could just be that we get rid of the categories and just have it as, who do you think deserves an award, rather than having the categories. Do you know what I mean? Given what we've been through for the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to allocate more money to that? I mean, I think it cost in the region of £1,800 last time.
Yeah.
I was thinking we need somewhere in the region of 2,500 to 3,000 if we really push it out.
Yeah.
So we could put that in as a provisional figure, just set aside for the community awards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's and I think as large events go, we're just going to have to get creative, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we've already been asked to start looking at external funding, what we can bring in. Yeah. I'm more than happy to do that. But we need to recognise that it's quite fierce out there for any grants at the moment. And again, I think we could do a support from some of our community groups to help us raise money for that. So I'll have a chat with Frank, because he seems to be the expert at raising money via grant funding at the moment. But yeah, if we've got events, the options are we either do something with the precept and raise a little bit more money that way, and or we put more bids in for external funding. But we have to have something to hang those bids on. We can't just say we want money to have events. We need to say it's going to be this type of event and this is the purpose of it and this is what we'll get out of it.
Yeah.
What about funding from the Liverpool City region? Is that,
there is money there, but again, everyone's pitching in. So I'm getting constant feed through from potential funders. I'm doing Sefton CVS conference next week, and a load of funders will be there. So I will bring away from that what I can. But again, I'm aware that there will be a lot of other organisations there looking to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. On the subject while we're talking about Frank, I did notice he was doing the park, Bobby's Wood.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be on his own, and I hadn't had any sort of contact to say, can anybody help? I'm at a loose end here, I'm bored. So if he wants me to maybe help him out brushing the leaves up and that, I'm available to come.
Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about is we have started to put friends of groups together for parks, as we talked about last meeting. We have a small nucleus of people in Bobby's Wood. Frank has had help from 2 or 3 of them. I think one of them comes from Thomas and Ken's group as well. So they've helped out. They've been doing things like bedding work with him, shifting turf, etc. There will be more things that need to be done. So if you want to get involved, Claire, I'll add you to the list.
Okay.
Again, because we're getting these groups going, I'm probably going to need to allocate some funding from events to them as they come up and require support and require equipment. So I can't give you a figure at the moment because we don't know what they'll need. But if you're happy with that principle, I'll keep you in touch as to how that moves on. But we've definitely got a group at Bobby's Wood. We're close to getting one up and running at Dodds Park. And there's a group of women who are interested in forming a group up at Glen Park. So at least 3 groups, I would imagine, will be up and running before the end of the year.
Okay. Okay, any questions on the budget? No, any comments on the budget? Okay.
Jonathan, Claire, Jonathan.
Sorry, Jonathan. I thought you... Jonathan, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Jonathan, we still can't hear you.
Is your volume turned up, Jonathan?
Jonathan, can we just move to Councillor Doherty while I figure out your volume? Go on, Councillor Doherty.
Actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I've got to go. I'm on duty in 25 minutes and witness.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay. So sorry, I've got to rush.
All right. No worries. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Sean.
Bye-bye.
See you, Sean.
Bye. Thank you.
Jonathan, have you sorted your volume out?
Oh. Can you type any comments? Is that an option?
I don't know where that would come up.
Chat?
Yeah, there's a chat at the bottom, Jonathan, if you want to type comment at the bottom. Maybe that will help and we can answer. Do we want to move on to the Community Youth Support Network? And I'm quite happy to come back to the budget if Jonathan can fix out a way of communicating with us. Is that okay, Jonathan? Yeah, I think he said yeah. All right. Community Youth Support Network verbal update.
This was going to be a verbal report from Denise, but obviously she's not here. She hasn't passed any information on to myself or Siobhan. Ross, I don't know if you had actually had any conversation with Denise about this.
No, not recently. No, it's all been a bit up in the air, hasn't it? As everything is, you know. So I'm just sort of waiting to see where I can help out and things like that.
Okay. The only thing I can add is that the Active Foundation, who were meant to be running the mini soccer league, God help them, they've had about 3 goes at trying to get the thing up and running. The latest one being they had a taster sessions, free taster sessions at half term. Again, with the lockdown coming in now, they're going to have to postpone it until the lockdown finishes. So I spoke to Danny Dwyer today from the Active Foundation. They'll keep us informed. They'll need help with re-promoting it with new dates when they come out, but they're quite happy to run it from whenever they're allowed to. They've had a lot of interest from Days High and Mary Court. They did get a few kids down last week who said, oh yeah, that would be interesting. We'd be interested in getting involved in that. So hopefully when we can actually get it up and running, there will be a good uptake.
Yeah.
But that's the money that's from last year's budget that we paid them in the anticipation that they would do it. And they just haven't had the chance with everything that's gone on.
Okay. Jonathan, have you managed to fix out your volume yet? Jonathan, we can only see the top of your head now, so I can't even see if you're indicating to me. No, we still can't hear you. Yeah.
Oh, yes, you put something in chat.
Cool.
Jonathan said he was literally just going to make the point that we have got to be cautious when we refer to cost-neutral events. Hopefully things will obviously be in a better situation in spring, but I suspect it may be... He's still typing. Yeah, he's saying it's going to. Jonathan thinks it's going to be Q2 or Q3 before we can be sure what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, I agree, Jonathan. It is going to be difficult, but I think we're going to have to just be, as I said, creative with anything that we do and try and put events on, but try and keep them as low cost as possible. One of the things I might think would be a good idea is to maybe look at, communities might want to have street parties, if that's an available thing, when we're completely clear of this COVID, to try and celebrate the neighbourhoods, and that would be something that they could do within themselves.
What's someone's phone?
It's the dogs just set off a Halloween toy. Sorry about that. Never work with children or animals, he said. I've got rid of the child, but the animal's still here. Yeah, so, I think with regards to anything in the future, Jonathan, there's not an awful lot. Would you agree? We can't even consider till we know we're safe to do it. So we're just winging it, basically, aren't we, at the moment?
Well, I think everyone is at the moment. Yeah. Everyone is.
Right, okay. So we're happy to move on to the final bit, which is, well, just my report, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing I would like to report on is the fact that Sefton Council stepped up during the half-term holidays and helped to feed our children who were on, our children who were, parents were on benefits, free school meals, children who were in need, through the family centres, which is fantastic. I had so many phone calls off parents when we went into tier 3, terrified that, they're not going to feed the kids when the kids are out of school, and these £15 vouchers, how much they'd been like a life God sent to them. So hopefully we can push forward to that for Christmas. However, given what we've just decided tonight, at least we know the children in our community are going to be looked after. Hopefully that can be countrywide. There's not much I can report on from my point of view. What I would say is, if anyone in the group knows anyone or wants to help out with the food bank, wants to help out with anything that we've discussed today, go through Phil, go through me. If any of the public want to help who are listening tonight, please contact us, because at this time we are going to need all hands on deck to help with the community. Sorry, Yvonne.
I don't mind helping out with the food bank.
Brilliant.
Okay, we'll count you in, Yvonne.
As long as I'm not babysitting the baby.
I think my microphone's sorted now.
Well, people asking me at the moment.
Right, okay. I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining tonight and stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
Yeah.